Right, shall we talk about the Tier 3 lockdown that's hit the UK and Manchester hard, as usual? Well, let's talk about this man, shall we? Mr. Hancock. Mr. Hancock. He was always going on about being a man of science. How many times have you seen that man of science, man of science, man of science? And the government's following the man of science way of doing things. Man of science. However, now it comes down to this other cock-up which has happened. So how long has Manchester been in lockdown now? Since July?
Yeah.
July.
Well, on and off.
So now we've got indicators, key indicators, case detection rates in all groups, all age groups, case detection rates in all over 60s, the rate at which cases are rising or falling, the number of positive cases detected as a percentage of tests taken, known as the positivity rate, and the pressure on the NHS. They're the things. So we're not doing the what it suits, the R number. The R number.
Yeah.
We were under 1 and falling.
Yeah.
London is over 1 and rising. But we go into Tier 3.
Yeah.
London, Tier 2. So there is a north-south divide. Clearly a north-south divide. Why is that? Because of the next man. Yes, Mr. Andy Burnham. He's there shouting up for the north, and what happens with him? Well, it all goes to, doesn't it? He's doing his best, but the government don't listen because of the north-south divide. So we might as well call him Mr. Twist. Oliver Twist, because all he asked for was give me more. Give me more, please. And what did the government do? Manchester, we're in Tier 3. Strange times.
It's strange times, but it's nothing that we've not had before. Everybody in the north of England has been treated like garbage by a Tory government for a very, very long time. Anybody who remembers the poll tax for younger people, this is the point where the Conservative government thought, well, wouldn't it be great if every single person who had a home paid exactly the same amount of money to the upkeep of the nation, irrespective of if the house was a mansion or it was a semi-detached house with 5 people living in it. So a millionaire in a mansion paid the same as a single parent with 4 children whose husbands abandoned them that were living in a terraced house. This is the level of stupidity that you get because they're so obsessed. This version of a Conservative government is so obsessed with people being responsible, being able to get on, that everybody's equal, and they never recognise the fact that some people are born into money, are born into privilege, and this lockdown should have been ever political. It should have never got that way, the way it's exploding in America, the way it's exploding over here, where people, it is becoming a political thing now,
it's
and
a
it shouldn't
football,
be.
isn't it, Mike? It's an absolute football. I mean,
It
they're
is.
just playing games with people's lives. But the conspiracy world are loving it because it's all about control. And you got to say, yeah, well, they are controlling us. They are taking the mickey out of us. It's just another world, and it's just a horrible, horrible world. But you got to keep strong.
You certainly have. But on the subject of lockdowns, if you're thinking maybe over here things are bad and things have been politicised, well, we're going to explain just how over the coming weeks that things are not how they used to be in many, many ways. Fox News used to be this crazy right-wing, alt-right, mental piece of propaganda you tune into. And over the last few years, Trump's administration have gone that far that they've sort of gone, oh, I'm not sure about this, and they've pulled back. Fox News is now more mainstream than it's ever been. That doesn't mean that the problems and the nutters have gone away. They live on a host of channels that are still being broadcast and are still out there doing propaganda. And there's a lady called Michelle Malkin who used to be on Fox
remember
News.
That name. Remember that
Oh,
name.
you're going to have to remember this name because she's going to be one of my resident nutbags from now on. Where if you want to see the temperature, you're out there wondering, how do 70-odd million people vote for Trump? How do people believe all this crap? It's because they're fed stuff like the following video.
Lockdown mania. Whatever happened to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? Ever since the Wuhan virus hit our shores, our precious freedoms to worship, to work, to play, to celebrate, to mourn, and to breathe as free as we please have been steadily eroding, all in a futile attempt to stop the spread of a disease with a 99% survival rate for everyone under the age of 70. Did you ever think that you'd live to see the day that the United States government, not North Korea, not China, not Russia, not Venezuela, would advise us to cancel Thanksgiving and Christmas in the name of public health? This is unmistakably and unequivocally un-American.
So knowing that people are looking forward to the Thanksgiving holiday and getting together to celebrate, we felt that it was imperative to make a stronger push to recommend not traveling for the holidays. The safest way to celebrate Thanksgiving this year is at home with the people who live in your household.
The CDC's COVID control-free guidelines on holiday gatherings dictate that we refrain from handshakes and hugs with our dearest friends. The federal rules even extend to pets, who we are now forbidden from getting pats and snuggles from any visitors from outside your household. In the age of pandemania, only hugs through plastic curtains are deemed safe anymore.
Or you can put them down here. Since they're a little shorter. It's a hug.
Oh, that's
No,
the hug. But you're so...
Oh, I can't see. Oh.
Our public health overlords also advise us to avoid singing or shouting. But wait, that's not enough. Don't you dare think of blasting Thanksgiving hymns or Christmas carols over the speakers in the privacy of your own home theater. The CDC has decreed that we must keep music levels down so people don't have to shout or speak loudly to be heard. Oh, and if you're thinking about cracking open a beer or toasting loved ones with a small glass of wine, think again. That's a no-no too, because the CDC tells us that drinking even a sip of alcohol might impair our ability to social distance and wear our masks correctly. I wonder what adult beverage Anthony Fauci was imbibing when he chin-strapped his mask. Remember that? Or how about flip-flopper Fauci's hype regarding COVID vaccines still being tested in clinical trials whose results have yet to be finalized or subjected to scientific peer review? These experts told us it would take 15 days to stop the spread. Now Fauci threatens we won't get back to normalcy until maybe, possibly next fall. What we are suffering is an epidemic of toxic hypocrisy and lies by elites and politicians in both parties. Ohio's meddling Republican Governor Mike DeWine pays lip service to limited government principles while using COVID as a ruse to ban dancing at weddings.
We have seen rampant spread of the virus as a result of banquets, wedding receptions, and social gatherings following funerals. The order also requires everyone to be seated, everyone to wear a mask unless they are actively consuming food or drinks. And the order prohibits things such as dancing and games.
While rolling out draconian new lockdown orders, California's Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom deceived the public about attending an outdoor party with lobbyists at fancy restaurant French Laundry. There were no masks in sight. There were 12 people from multiple households. It wasn't a family gathering, as he falsely framed it. It was do as I say, not as I do influence, peddling business as usual.
After taking some heat, Governor Newsom issued the following statement. While our family followed the restaurant's health protocols and took safety precautions, we should have modeled better behavior and not joined the dinner.
How many chances do we give him before we catch him doing something similar again?
Instead of allowing Californians to enjoy the same largesse he enjoys, Petty Tyrant Newsom this week tightened the leash on citizens. He imposed a multi-county 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew for an entire month that will decimate countless family-owned restaurants and small businesses and will limit individual freedom of movement with no scientific basis.
And this is the problem. People are listening to this. This is the sort of propaganda you get on Chinese state television. You will get somebody really convincingly putting across a hypothesis or a position like that. It looks like a news channel. It's not, it's propaganda, but it doesn't matter. But I've got to say, going back to the UK, we've got our own propaganda and it's being fed by the government. And the government's now, their position on Christmas and the position on Thanksgiving in America are so similar, it's untrue. We are now the global leaders in pandemic fatalities. We have managed to snatch the crown from everybody else, even Brazil. We've managed to outdo them. So between America and the UK, who's going to win this? Is it in proportion to the population, how many corpses we can make over a period of time? This Christmas decision to let everybody have a free-for-all for 5 days is only going to end one way, and that's it.
In tears.
No, I'll tell you exactly how it's going to end. January is going to be a crucible of death.
Thank you for watching. I'm impressed. You've passed the IQ test and got this far, so let's press that button to do the last thing that helps us. It's got subscribe on it, you can't miss it, and please ring the bell for notifications of future videos.